All right, so this is CYB 503, week 2, lab 1. In this lab, we were tasked with using a tool or technique that was previously discussed in our discussion tab. Kind of use it in detail, and that tool would deal with stealing credentials. So the tool that I am going to be utilizing is a tool called Hydra, and essentially what that is it is a brute forcing tool, which will, if the attacker can guess the username, they can input the username into a command prompt and basically put Hydra up against a password list. And what it will do is it will try and log in with that username and every single password in the password list and see if there is a match. And if there's a match, it'll return the password, essentially telling you, hey, we got in. So I am going to be doing a brief demonstration of this right now. So I have this secondary intentionally vulnerable virtual machine that I had set up, and I had connected this Kali box with this other virtual machine. We are going to use this virtual metasplitable 2 machine as the vulnerable machine that we will be attacking. As I said, this tool called Hydra uses a password list. I am using the rocku.txt, which is installed automatically with this version of Kali, with a bunch of different passwords. Obviously, you've got really insecure passwords, which is kind of the point of the password list. It's hundreds and hundreds of insecure passwords. So like I said, we're going to be running Hydra up against this rocku.txt file. So if we open a command prompt here, it's going to auto-populate the command that I ran earlier. Let me get into the correct directory first. In order for the tool to see the text file, we got to be in the desktop directory. So now I can run the command. To break down the command, you've got Hydra, which is the tool that I'm using. -L is the essentially the username. Since I set up this box, I created an account, just MSF admin. So that is the username. I know what the username is. -P is essentially loading the text file that you want to run the tool off of. In this case, it is the rocku.txt file. We're going in through FTP, and that is the IP of the box that I have up, the box that's being attacked. So if we run Hydra, what it's going to do is it's going to go through one by one each one of those passwords and see if we can get in. I loaded in the password for this other box in there, so it's going to find it for demonstration purposes. The thing about these brute force attacks is that depending on the size of the password list, it can take a long time to find. But I put the password relatively close to the top. So as you can see, it went in through FTP. It shows the host, which is the host that we scanned for right up here. You've got your login, username, MSF admin, and then it found password MSF admin. And that is, I can confirm that is the password for the box. So that tool was successful in essentially stealing the password for the box. Also, I see that in the lab description, you're supposed to demonstrate kind of counter preventative measures that you could take against this attack. One can simply have a strong password policy. Don't use super common passwords. And another thing to implement is locking your users out after a number of unsuccessful login attempts. I know some people do 6, some people do 10. Personally, where I work, we have essentially 3 strikes and you're out. After 3 strikes, your account gets locked, your user account gets locked, and you've got to come to us to unlock it. So that is essentially what I did for week 2, lab 1 for this week.